Welcome to Koho Living Spiritual Greatness. I am your host, Meiwengel, and I want to invite you on a journey to finding and living your purpose. Knowing and following our inner calling gives our lives meaning and clarity on where our goals are. We're all spiritual beings here on earth to have a human experience. And when we have a focus for this experience, you can create a fulfilled life. Come join me in this movement to make this world a better place by letting go of our fears, old patterns, attachments, and resistance. Do you want to dig deeper into your own purpose? Use the questionnaire linked in the show notes and you will receive a link to schedule your free clarity session with me. But for now, I wish you a lot of inspiration with today's episode. Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome to another episode here on Koho Living Spiritual Greatness. It's so exciting. I'm so excited about all the interviews I'm doing right now, which is really amazing. But anywho, today I wanted to talk to you about something that was brought to me by one of our listeners here on the podcast, and it was about letting go of anger. You know, like when we have a lot of anger in our lives, we're angry about people. Sometimes anger is even something that lies very subconscious. And usually, of course, anger is one of the emotions that is combined with a certain fear of something, because we get angry because we're not getting something that we want, right? Or because we were hoping for something and then we don't get it. And I'm really talking about, like things of a friend not wanting, not wanting spending time with us, or there's so many things. The person that we love not returning the affections, friends and family that might not follow the same values that we have. So we get angry because they don't believe in the same things, or they don't spend as much time with us. Usually things like this I feel that anger a lot of times hides worthiness. And I'm talking about worthiness in a way that because we think that someone else is not giving us the right proper conduct with us, like not like, for example, when they're not spending enough time with us, and we get angry, and it's because they're not doing what we would like to have, right? And so we get angry, and so this is just to explain to you how anger usually works, because a lot of times anger is just hiding something beneath it, right? But the thing is that we don't see it because in that moment we're just angry. We're just angry because, I don't know, let's say someone came too late to a meeting, or someone told you we're going to meet and then they don't show up. Or, like a lot of the times anger has to do with the expectation that we have of someone else. And so that's also one of the reasons where anger can come from. So what I'm trying to tell you is basically anger has so many facets that lie underneath it. So it's very important to see what's behind it, what the anger actually is trying to show you. Because sometimes it's our hurt ego that is hurt because of, I don't know, different reasons for everybody, but and with ego, I also mean our inner child, because our inner child was used to something and wanted to expect this and that and wants to have that. And once we don't get it, it gets angry. And the thing is that we don't get that because, again, there's other things hiding behind it. So to be able to release that anger is actually finding out what's lying behind it so that we can work on it, right? So that we can actually transform it and do that. But a lot of the times we can't even find out what's behind it because the anger is so strong. So the anger is so strong, it just overwhelms us. It's just there. We get angry. We get angry at the people, at the world, at ourselves. We're angry at the whole thing. And maybe even start blaming things, people, situations. There's, you know, like anger is really, it's like an emotion that explodes a lot. So to tell you the truth, I've only found one amazing way to deal with anger. And it's one that a lot of us, we don't like it. Especially, and I'm saying we because I used to not like it. Now I actually really do like it. But and that's basically the first thing, is embrace that you're allowed to be angry. That's like the first thing. Embrace the anger. And I'm saying this especially because in the spiritual world, of course, we're taught of the principles of resonance, of how we're getting mirrored everything, how the universe mirrors everything back, our vibration. So if I'm angry, then that's the energy that I'm having, that I'm putting out there. And it's so, and we don't want to be angry because we're supposed to be love with everybody and like everybody. And, you know, like, but the thing is that usually when we get angry, then we get angry at ourselves because we're angry. And then, you know, the whole circle starts going around. And that's why I'm specifically saying that. The thing is that if you allow yourself to be angry, if it's okay, like you're allowed to embrace the anger, it's okay for the anger to be there, you stop the circle that would come back to you, that you're angry at yourself because you're angry. So you stop that at first. And the second thing is you also stop the anger, because a lot of the times, and this is actually something that counts for every emotion that we have, but it's especially very visible with anger. And I'm not saying when you embrace the anger to go ahead and punch someone in the face or to scream at someone. I'm just saying allow yourself to be angry. You're allowed to be angry. And even if you have to scream at someone, scream at someone. I'm not going to recommend actually punching someone. I wouldn't do that. But, you know, like, allow yourself to be angry. Allow the anger to be there. Don't push it away, because a lot of times we just push it away. We're like, oh, I'm angry. No, I can't be angry right now. Okay, everything is fine. Everything is butterflies. And the thing is, what we do is we just you know, we push it and hide it somewhere in our body, and that part gets tension. And if we don't deal with it, at one point it's just going to explode. It's going to become an illness. You know, we get pains in places of our body. So the idea is to embrace the anger. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to let go. You're allowed to feel those things. And the funny thing about it is, once you allow yourself to feel an emotion, and especially with anger, you're going to see, and I would say at least in 50% of the cases, if not 80% of the cases, you're just going to see that once the anger gets a space, and I'm talking about 30 minutes, 60 minutes, it might even take 2 hours in the beginning, but if you start practicing this and allow the anger to happen, the timeline is going to get shorter and shorter with time. And the thing is that a lot of the times when you allow the anger to happen, after the anger has had a space, you're going to see it's just going to crawl back and it's just going to disappear. And then you're going to be able to actually look at the situation and see what's lying behind the anger. And I always like to imagine this, you know, like little children that want to have attention. They want to have attention and they go, blah, 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 and the less attention you give them, the louder they get. Have you ever noticed? And so anger and emotions similar to anger are like that. They're like little children that want attention. They're like, oh, I want you to play with me. And so you allow the anger to have a space. You're like, okay, little anger, come on, you know, like be angry. If I want to be angry right now, I'm allowing myself to be angry. If it takes 1 hour or 2 hours, and then it's just going to go down, and then it's just going to go and say bye-bye. and I'm just giving you this because this is like for real. If you start doing that, you're going to see that it gets smaller fast. The more you practice it, the less often you get angry, and the less that emotion has a space. You give it space so that it just subsides by itself. And that's the wonderful thing about it, because then you're going to be able to see clear what's behind it. Is it an ego thing? Is it an inner child thing? Is it, what are you actually angry about? You're going to be able to see those things clearly, and then you're going to be able to transform those things, and you're going to be able to work on those things properly so it doesn't come back, so you understand why that person, did that, so that you could understand what's actually lying behind that when you start. Because the thing is, anger is a lot of being angry at someone because they did something. But once you start accepting that people are allowed to be the way they are, at the same time, you are allowed to be the way you are. Because, like if the anger turns towards you, you're allowed to be the way you are. So you don't have to, so you can be fine with yourself. You don't have to be angry with yourself. It's okay to be angry, but it's also okay to be the way you are. And then you start accepting those things. And then you accept whatever situation you're in. And like I said, then the spiral actually, instead of pulling you down, you get pushed up, because then you can see things clearer and way more focused. So yeah, that's the thing about anger. So this is here for you. I hope this helps you a little bit how to deal with anger emotions, because like I said, I think it's the most visible one, because it just explodes so many times. But if you allow it to explode the way it wants to, like I said, it's going to start to release itself, and you're going to be able to see a lot clearer. Because a lot of the times emotions like anger cloud us. So we're completely in the anger and we can't see things. So that's the wonderful thing about it. So like I said, allow yourself to feel the anger. That's very important. Don't stop that. And then embrace it. Allow it to be there. Give it space. And then you can see clear. And then you can work with it. Like I said, because the thing is, once we are in an emotion like anger, it just, in that moment, we can't deal with it. So allow yourself to feel it. And you're going to see that letting go of that emotion, of the anger, it's going to be easier and easier the more and more you practice. That's the beauty about it. Because the more you practice it, so you can be grateful for every moment where anger comes up, because it gets easier with every single time you do it. And you're going to get to a point where you just don't get angry anymore, because you are so clear about how the situations are. You're so mindful with yourself that you see those things coming, or you don't even create those moments where you create your own anger. So I hope this helped you a lot with the emotion of anger. And if you want to work more on these things and learn how to let go this kind of emotions and more of these, and how to integrate that in your day-to-day life, send me a PM, send me a direct message, send me an email. Let's have a talk and let's see how I can support you with this, to learn this, to integrate this more into your day-to-day life. Because once you start transforming these kinds of emotions, you're going to be able to create such an amazing life of lightness, of ease. You're going to be able to really be self-confident and just, like see everything as a breeze. And yeah, I think that's a good way to create a wonderful life and to create less anger on this planet. So with this, I'm wishing you a great rest of the week, and yeah, let's have a talk. Mwah.